the stove. And now we're gonna turn it onto the stove to a medium high, so about a 6. And I'm going to incorporate the lemon juice that I juiced, and I'm gonna use a strainer to make sure no no seeds get in. So there we go. Get all that out. Okay, and then we're gonna add our salt. Give it a good stir. Okay, so I'm gonna let this simmer for a good 5 minutes or so, or as the pot heats up, because the pot is still very much cold. And then once I begin to see the mixture begin to heat up, I will begin to stir a lot more frequently to make sure it doesn't burn at the bottom or begin to stick. We want to check to see if it is jamming up nicely. And by the way we'll do that is by using the frozen spoons that we were talking about earlier in the video. But until then, we're gonna give this a moment. So I'll be back. Okay, so the mixture is beginning to heat up, and as you can see, the steam rising from it. We want to bring it to a boil. However, we do want to continue to stir it. All right, so this should take about 20 minutes. The jamming process, depending on what kind of fruit you use, will determine how quickly the fruit will jam up. Typically berries, because they naturally have pectin in it. Pectin keeps jellies and jams together. So because berries have pectin in it, typically they jam up pretty quickly. But if you're using another fruit to create this jelly, it may take a little longer than 20 minutes. All right. Okay guys, as you can see, the strawberry jelly mixture has darkened in color and it's beginning to, or it's continuing to boil. It's been boiling for a minute now, or simmering, a simmering boil, a slow, rapid boil, however you want to look at it, for a minute now. And this color has definitely changed darker, to a darker hue, and it's a lot thicker. So I think it's a good time to test it with a frozen spoon, right? So we're gonna try this out and see what happens. It's dropping it on there. All right, so it's coagulating. Now we're gonna take I'm gonna take a spatula and create one line. Let's see if it does it. You guys, it's almost there. Look, there is a space, but it's not quite it wasn't quite clear before all this slid down, obviously, but it wasn't quite clear. What we want is it to be completely straight down the line clear. So we're gonna keep letting it cook a little bit longer and see what happens when we wipe all of this down back into our pot, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we're gonna try again. I think this is a good time to do it. It's our last spoon, last frozen spoon. I hope it's finished. Let's see. All right. It's thickening up. Using the spatula again, and we're just gonna run it straight through. You guys, look, it's finished. You see that clear part? This is everything. So excited. All right, so now what we're gonna do is put this in a nice clear glass jar, put it in the fridge to chill so that we can use it for our PB&J sandwich from scratch. All right, we're gonna be making a peanut butter spread to go with our peanut butter and jelly sandwich made from scratch. All right, so I found all of these ingredients here in my kitchen, but if you have something in your kitchen that you think will enhance the recipe, or do you like to substitute or subtract, feel free to do so. I have here peanuts, but you can also use almonds, walnuts, cashews, and even coconut to make a nut butter, right? I have honey and some salt, some oil. You're gonna need a blender or a food processor and a spatula to scrape the sides as you're blending. All right, you ready? Let's go. All right, so what we're gonna do is add these peanuts to the blender, like so. Oh no, we lost one. Okay, and now I'm going to cover it like so, and I'm gonna give it a good pulse or let it blend for a minute, and then I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna do it again. And it's gonna be a process of blending, stopping, blending, stopping, and every so often I'll open up and scrape down the sides. All right, let's start. Okay, so I'm gonna keep doing this and I'll be right back when I have more progress to show you. Okay, so as you can see here, the peanuts are beginning to collect and form. And so I'm just gonna go through and like break up some of this so that it can be more smoother. I don't really like crunchy peanut butter, but if you do like crunchy peanut butter, this is the time to take some of it out to add to your peanut butter at the end. After you get a smooth result, then you add the crunchy back into it at the end. But I don't really like crunchy peanut butter, so I'm going to continue to blend this until it gets smooth. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm adding the oil now to make the process to blend this up a lot smoother and easier. And if you can see it, like it's already beginning to smooth out. So we're just gonna continue blending it and pulsing it until it can completely become smooth or a lot less chunkier than this. Because like I said before, not a big fan of chunky peanut butter, but if you are, this is a great start. All right, I'm back. Okay, so it's getting a lot smoother. And so what I'm gonna do now is add the honey and the salt and then continue to blend it until it completely smooths out. So let's get that honey in there. Just a little sweetener. Now, if you don't want honey or you have another sweetener that you wanna add, this is a great time to do it. If you don't want honey in your, or sweetener in your peanut butter, you know, that's fine, to each his own. I actually like my peanut butter kind of sweet, not completely sweet. This is just a tablespoon and a half of honey. So it's not too sweet, but it is gonna give it a flavor. Then I'm gonna add, there you go. Then I'm gonna add the salt. Okay. And that's what this is what it looks like. Can you see it? Yeah. All right, so I'll be back. Okay, so this is what it turned out. The peanut butter, homemade. And considering it is not store-bought, I imagine I can't get this any smoother without like pulling out my Ninja blender. So I'm gonna leave it as is. And it's still creamy. So I'm pleased, and the chunks are not too big. So it's not like it won't be too, can you see the chunks? It won't be too much to handle when I'm eating it. I don't particularly like chunky peanut butter, but if you do, this would be the time to add the chunks that you had taken out earlier into your peanut butter and mixing it up yourself. And there you have extra loaded chunky peanut butter. But this, I feel like this is as smooth as it's gonna get, considering I'm not using a big blender, I'm using a small blender. So, all right, I'm gonna get this into a nice container, and then afterwards, get ready to make that peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm so excited. Let's go. All right, everything's complete. We have our strawberry jam, our peanut butter, we have our homemade bread, and I had to throw in some oranges and a glass of milk because they complete the meal. So I am so excited because we made it this far, and now it's to get the taste. What does this really taste like? Let's find out. I'm gonna put this here on my plate. I'm gonna cut this bread. I'm so excited. All right, let's see. It's soft, okay? Normally I would take it out of the tin, but no. See what happens. Look at that. That is beautiful. All right, I'm gonna taste it. So good. So good, so good, so good. Oh my goodness. Okay. Put a little jelly on that. Yes. Yes, Lord. We get a little sticking, I think. But it's okay. We gonna get it. Hot. Beautiful. A little peanut butter on that. We got peanut butter. And we got jelly. Don't mind me, I'm just super excited, okay? Sometimes you gotta sing to yourself. And the peanut butter is awesome. You guys, I encourage you guys to try this at home, especially while we're in quarantine. PB&J is the way to go. Why not make it yourself? I hope you enjoyed being in my kitchen with me. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to say it in the comment section below. Any suggestions of what I should do next? Let me hear them. Have a great one.